Done.
All right, good morning, everybody. Glad we have everybody on board. I'm not going to do my quote today because I'm driving here to our Orlando office for a training from 10 to 12. Gigi's our co-host today. So if anybody unmutes, she's the one that's going to be muting you. And if you need to screen share us, but we got Sammy Hernandez in the building, a partner of ours. He's a partner of 5 offices, has a ton of properties he owns, a great friend of mine. But this class is awesome because usually I've bought properties like for Airbnb or regular 12-month tenants, but I ended up buying an 8-unit in Florida City, and I actually needed Sammy's help, me and Pablo, because I had Pablo help me with because Pablo lives close to the property, so Pablo listed all these properties for me, and we needed Sammy's help because I was able to get 4 like regular tenants. We're back but I needed Section 8 help. So today Sammy's gonna tell us, about Sammy he's gonna talk about his portfolio and how he started being proper and getting properties and how he's maximized Section 8, and also talk about the pros and cons of Section 8, and go from there. So Sammy, man, thank you so much for taking your time, bro. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. So yeah, like George says, my name is Sammy Hernandez. I'm the partner at Palmetto Bay branch for Lauderdale and Orlando and Tampa. I just want to get here to tell you guys that my the way that I started, investing, it was since 2011, 2012 into duplex, triplex, and fourplex. Currently right now I have a good portfolio. Most of my portfolio is Section 8. I mean, 100% Section 8. I think you guys should look into Section 8, man. Right now, the application is going to be closing on May 27. There's about only like 6 months, and so far there's been applicant of 5,000 people. The Section 8, every first I get my check. It's something that, if the government really shut down, that's when you stop getting paid. But I seen that, really not happening. There's about 9,000 families right now that is waiting on the waiting list for Section 8. So that means it's a huge opportunity, right, for Section 8. I know into this market and into this, right now, everybody got their niche. And Section 8, it happened to be one of my niches on my rental portfolio, right? Why? Because during COVID, the increase or I advance increase on my rent 10%, right? So I'm telling you right now that in Brownsville, Alapara, which is already the neighborhood that's still up and coming, I can charge $1,650 for a 1-1, $1,750 for a 2-1. That's significantly high for those type of areas, and Section 8 is paying plus the other side. Like, for example, I get people that are working. I don't let people just to live on my units, because the more that they live on the unit, the more turnaround and more things that things break. So I try to get the tenants that work at least a job, so they have to pay me something every month, and the Section 8 have to pay me the rest. That's one key that I have on my portfolio.
Sammy, question. First off, what would you, how does it work? And I know it's a question I had. How does it work with like the deposit? If they damage thing, is it insured like by Section 8? How does that work? What are like the pros of that? So like, do they do first month and last? If they leave the unit damaged, how do they cover it? Like, how does that work?
So they pay the first and last. They pay first, last, and security, or they pay first and security. It depends on how you want to structure, but they do pay it. If something happened on the unit, let's say like it happened to me, let's say sometime they want to leave in the middle of the month, they rarely leave, or let's say they really leave in the middle and the Section already pay you, they will leave you with the money. If they break something, remember, they scared of losing that voucher. That voucher is like gold to them. So every time on the contract, I say up to $150. You break something, you have to fix it. If not, after a 150, I will pay the rest. I will pay the difference. But you guys are responsible to pay it. So they fix everything on my properties. I check them every quarter or every 6 months. I go by them. I check AC. I check all everything, bathroom, everything that is making sure that everything is good. Because I do that, so every other month I don't be calling as soon as Section 8 also check quarterly all the properties that you're maintaining in really good standards. At least the AC heater and all the outlets work. Okay. If you're interested on Section 8, don't be scared. The process is not hard at all. If you want to be a landlord for Section 8, go try to apply for it. And how do you apply? Is it getting a voucher? Or somebody that has is interested to, let's say, to rent a voucher, they give you the paperwork, which is a 84 form. You fill it out. I recommend you to get an LLC on that, because if something do happen on the property, you're not liable. But you fill that form out, you send it in, and then they will give you the process of how you apply with them, and then they come out, get your apartment or your house, inspect it, make sure the heater, water, AC, all the outlets, everything works fine, and there's no damage to the house. They don't really inspect efficiencies, so it have to be a 1-1 or 2-1 or 3-2 or family single home. So I know so far. I really encourage, if you go to Section 8 office to get to know people. Things have changed with this COVID thing. Things have changed how now that you have to put your name into a computer and then sit in a waiting room and stuff like that. But at least everybody knows me because I go there on the regular basis. Anything that have to be with Section 8 in terms of like how the government works with the landlord is so simple, man. Let's say they pay you 15 days late or 10 days late because they don't have the rest of the money. If they don't, you can evict them. Okay, you have to let Section 8 know as well that there's protocols, right, that you have to follow. Right now with the new law that you have to give 60 days to the tenant. It's also with Section 8 too. It's a little more difficult because remember, Section 8 is paying you every first. So you have to also let Section 8 that tenant is going to move out, or you don't want to renew his contract in order for them. And then if they don't do that, they lose the voucher. That's why the tenant always do whatever mostly you say, because if you report them back to Section 8, they lose the voucher. However, it's a two-way street. If they report you because you didn't fix the AC or the heat and things like that, you also lose the privilege to rent for Section 8. So you have to, be on top of them. And a person like me that I have, a quite good portfolio, I'm always trying to, improve in everything Section 8. Anybody has a question for me on Section 8?
Sammy, another question I'm sure people will have, and I had it, and it took Pablo and I to get approved probably like a month and a half. What's like the average time, and what's the website that you go to apply for Section 8 for your properties?
So and the turnaround is basically about, like you said, like about a month, because remember they pay every first. They rarely pay on the middle of the month. So if you apply, let's say today is the 26th of April, don't get expected to pay by May 1st. You're gonna get paid by June instead of by May, because it's gonna at least take you 30 days for them. And then if you want to know, right, because some of you guys have sometimes you guys have renters that they're looking for Section 8. My website that I always go to, it says gosection8.com. Okay, that website will tell you literally how many Section 8s around in your area, how much they currently rent it for, and if the voucher that you have or your client has, if it qualify, right? And again, 99% or maybe 90% is qualified because it's Hialeah voucher, Miami Beach voucher, and City of Miami voucher. There's special programs that sometimes it work like Section 8, but there's no Section 8 that doesn't really, I don't take those. I only take Section 8 a voucher because it's with the federal government. You know, the other website is Section 8 website, which is through Miami-Dade County portal. There you can find all the information that that you can think of. And if you have any question, anything like that, please don't hesitate to contact me.
Sergio has a question.
Go ahead, Sergio.
Hey, what's up, Sammy? Two questions for you. First one is, are you allowed to do an interview on the tenant that was about to move in? Like a typical tenant that you would able to do? And then second is, how often does the state or the government come to inspect the apartment?
All right, so yes, you're allowed to do an interview, you're allowed to do a background check. However, you allow, let's say that you don't want that tenant, right? You have to give a written notice to that tenant because he can report you as a oh, he's being unfair, or he's being he doesn't want me because I am XO, or what I mean. So you have to be very careful how you try to interview that tenant. And then if you don't like the tenant, you cannot just say, hey, your thing is denied. No, you have to give like a little reason, because remember, if they're going to go back to Section 8, and Section 8 is going to probably call you acting like another person just to investigate what's going on, why you didn't get that person. And trust me, it has happened. That's number one. Number two, and your second question is that they come to inspect our property every quarter. I mean, I have a lot of properties with them, about 22. So I get currently constantly they going out for stupid stuff like water heater checkup, or panel, the electrical panel, right? That's very important for them. And then obviously how well I'm keeping up with the flooring and the structure of the building. I don't let them to put bikes some of these tenants, they like to be a hoarder outside the property. I don't let that happen. So they come out on my property. They come out a lot because I have a good portfolio with them. And again, I'm trying to buy more so I can continue putting more, because it's a good opportunity for Section 8.
Sammy, just another question in the chat. So Dario wants to know, at what point do you hire a property manager? How many tenants?
Thank you, Dario. So thanks to my wife, man. I'm telling you the truth. I'm not being where I'm at because of my wife, but thanks to my wife told me, hey, why you don't just open property management? And I do have a property management. It's called Paradiso Property Management. If you guys need anyone that that you're looking for, we do it. I became property management. I opened the property management, and I have two ladies, Ali Jackson and Jackie, that are overseeing my whole portfolio, plus the other properties that we have. I want to say maybe after 6 properties, you would like to hire property management, so you can still do real estate, do other things, because after 6, it gets a little complicated. I mean, I don't know in what type of a scenario, but that phone rings a lot. Not anymore, but because it doesn't go to me, now it goes to Jack and Ali. But after 6, I want to say, yeah, because there's always, in a month, there's always going to be the AC, toilet, something is going to be going down in one of the properties. Now, my portfolio is already up to 22. When you have that type of portfolio, you're going to require people to work and get the work orders and get the vendors out. So I say 6 if you want to be doing real estate full time, and then have property management on the side.
Great.
Thank you, Bill.
Another question, Shahida. She wants to know, what percentage of rent does Section 8 pay?
Okay, that's a really good question. So for example, in Go Section 8, you guys can go right now, GoSection8.com. There's gonna give you a range, right? And that the rent are high right now. Let's say you want $2,000. They're gonna approve in the area. They're gonna do a circle per circle, about 1.5 miles, 2 miles, and they might not give you the 2,000, but they might give you the $1,800 So that's like what 75% of what you currently want, and whether they can pay you, because sometime too, now since the pandemic is over, they don't want to overpay. They don't. They got like a max ceiling, and they tell you too. Hey, listen, you being approved. It happened to me and another one. You happen to get. I was asking for 1,400, and I won one, a brand new one that I just I did renovation in it, and then the lady told me, Sammy, did you come, because I think you are low on 1,400. I said, what? Yeah. Put it 1,550. I think we can pay 1,550. The lady from Section 8 told me that. I said, what? Okay, no problem. I switched the lease. I submitted it again, and they approved me for 1,550. And that one is on Florida City, and I was like, shoot, they helped me out. But again, there's not always gonna be. It also depends who was in the phone on the other side. But yeah, it's not always gonna be as high as you would like it to be. But you can ask them, hey, what for this area? What is the most that you can get from Section 8? And after 1 year, you can also increase rent between 30 to 40 bucks. Depends on what also the tenant can qualify. And because remember, there's only a threshold on their income. They have to be either $31,000 to $36,000 for them to qualify Section 8. So that is a factoring on how much you can also increase every month. Every year in your rent.
Okay, great. And then I have a couple questions. Do you make your tenants get renter's insurance?
No, I don't. I remember there in affordability a house marking on the mark on that. I don't make them. I have my own insurance, which is homeowners insurance, fire and hazard and water. I don't make them. No.
Okay. And then are you noticing that Miami rent is outpacing these vouchers?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. And that's why I was going with this. That's why there's a huge demand for Section 8 and low income housing affordability, because we don't have in Miami. We don't. I wish I could tell you. I wish I could literally, if I hit the lotto tomorrow, I will buy a building and convert it and hit it, because sometime, I'm telling you this straight up, you look at okay, they're gonna pay me $3,000 for this luxury of this apartment, right? Well, the working hard class, they rather pay you on time and always pay you than the guy that just they have it all, want to say. And it's kind of hard when they live the way they live paycheck to paycheck, and then they also rely on the government to help them. Those people, not for anything, but they're really. And you get everything, but the loyalty and the thing that losing that type of help,
Yeah.
kill them, that will also is really good. That's why I feel like Section 8 on the portfolio is a way to go.
Okay. And then last question, how do you not convince, but maybe share a different perspective if we're working with landlords that are hesitant to rent to Section 8? So that's happened to me a bit, like, they're just, I don't want Section 8. And I feel that they're maybe just uneducated. And so what is something you would tell them to say, hey, it's worth looking into?
Okay, so I was like that until really I got orientation by Section 8. I was like, man, Section 8, they said it because you got this perception that it's only for Black African American, or because it's for the really, I don't want to say the wrong thing, but it's like, they're going to destroy the property. In every business, there's a problem. But with Section 8, these people Section 8, you just have to treat them like there's, anybody else. The landlord doesn't not know. So you have to educate them that your payment is going to be, on the first, every month. It's going to be guaranteed. And then you also have to educate them on, remember, you have to treat them like a regular tenant. You cannot, just because they have help with Section 8, that doesn't mean that they're not going to pay you. No. And if they only pay half or a third of the rent, they have to pay the other third. That's even better. They're not in the unit as much. So you have to be very patient with landlords right now, because Of course, in Miami, everybody want the top dollars on the rent, but you just gotta continue talking to them about it and making the process as yourself as a realtor. Go into the website, call Section 8, get more information about how can you help the landlord to smooth the process. And right now, to tell you the truth, it's very easy. Now, the bad thing is that their time on acceptance is 30 days out. So they probably losing money on those 30 days. So they can tell you, hey, that's why I don't want Section 8. But when, let's say you put an application, today is the 26th, I put an application today, I'm not gonna get acceptance until maybe next week, but the tenant moved by May 1st. Now I don't get paid as a landlord May 1st, right? Because, I do get paid because they got first and last, but from Section 8, you don't get paid. So on June, you get paid retroactive from May or April when you move out, when you move in, May, and then June as well. So you have to know the ins and outs so you can explain to the landlord how Section 8 works, in my
Okay.
opinion.
Sounds fair. Does anyone else have any questions? I have more, but
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I just want to
This is
see,
super
check the
good.
chat. Anyone raise their hand? Okay, so if someone wants to get into buying their first investment property,
Yeah.
what is the type of property that is ideal? Like, I know that there's condos and townhouses that are more affordable, but you have HOAs and things like that. And then you do have single families, but they're bigger units, probably harder to maintain, but you can rent for more. Someone who has their primary and just wants to get into another property, what are the best type of properties to look into in terms of investing?
Okay, I might sound decent biased. I love multifamily. Right now, I'm buying after 12, 13 years of doing this. I am buying my first single family home besides my primary Tampa, right? And it's one for Airbnb. I am literally freaking out about this single family home because I never buy for Airbnb, or I never have bought a family single home, but I always buy multifamily. That is my niche. And by the way, the realtor that helped me to buy the single family home that I'm on the contract is Louis. He's on the call. He's right. I see him. He's in the gym right now. But anyway, I like duplexes. But if you go into MLS, there's none that makes sense right now. And why is that? Duplex, triplex, fourplex, because it's still within the residential guidelines, right? You buy one of those and you have 3 or 4 tenants or 2 tenants. It's only one loan. So let's say when that person leave me and come back, the other person still paying my mortgage, and the other one is a cash flow. Or I live on one side and the other one is helping me pay my mortgage. You get what I'm saying? So I always like to get duplex, triplex, and fourplex multifamily because yes, it's more headache and turns. You have to deal with more families and place them, but it's easier when bills are getting paid, everything is full occupants, and you don't have to deal with just a single family leave and then wait 30 days to
let me give another reason why year Zito's on the call, but last year and something I realized, if you stay wealthy, less taxes.
I can barely hear you. I don't know if that's just me, but you're chopping up.
You don't have service, Georgie.
Oh, damn.
Oh, you guys
I can't.
Yeah, he's gonna be in and out.
can't hear me?
because-
It-
Yeah, you're
yeah.
spotty. You're spotty. Let's just
Yeah,
wait.
I know another way to on your question is, for example, I love multifamily. The reason is, you do one, let's say you have to upgrade a bathroom, things like that, and you can move the tenant from this unit to this unit, renovate it and then move them back, and then, you know what I mean? Single family home, I don't typically do, because to tell you the truth, if that single family leave that for that 30 days and you have 15 days, you still got paid that mortgage, you know what I mean? And yes, they get sell faster, they can maybe rent for more, absolutely, but it's only one family. It's a bigger, I don't know. I haven't find my niche of single family home. I have a friend that has about 32 properties, 32 single family home. That's what he does. And he loves it. He loves that.
Yeah, my idea is that maybe those tenants last a little longer in the property is probably a benefit, but
Yeah, no,
not
not only
sure.
that, my Section 8, some of the tenants have been there for 6 and 7 years, to tell you the
Oh,
truth.
okay.
I don't have a problem with that. But again, the older folks too,
Mhm.
they're in the 60, 50, they're still working part-time and they don't have affordability anywhere else. So they're gonna stay there because the government helped them. So that's good as well.
Right.
Any other question, guys? Wow, nobody has no more
Sammy,
questions.
have you seen up here in the West Palm market? Have you dipped your feet in this market yet? How's it looking up here?
I was trying to do that about 2020, but when middle COVID, I had a fourplex up there that fell apart. The tenant was literally going in and out of drugs and stuff like that. Like in terms of like, because when I go and try to buy, I go to a property a lot in terms of like seeing what is my price going to be. And I saw that it was like a stash house, like a lot of movement coming in and out. And remember, I'm not gonna be in there, so it really fell apart. It was a really good fourplex for like 375 that I could get, and there was two ones and one, and it fell apart because I didn't feel comfortable, and that's another thing. So if you're looking to get into a property and to a multifamily, and you see a lot of activity when the tenants are, you suspect that they're on drug or any type of thing, and they continue going in and out. I try to stay away from it because it's kind of hard, and it's not hard. You have to go pass through the eviction, right? And the eviction process right now, they're not long anymore. They're about 6 to 7 months. But when you have to evict 4 or 3 or 2 tenants, that is, that's money. That's money that you losing. So I try to stay away from it, and that's why I couldn't buy in West Palm. But West Palm is a really good area because it's still affordable in terms of like, the market though on the rent, it's not as high as Miami, but it's really good buy in West Palm.
Great. We have a few more questions in the chat. So Lou wants to know, I have an investor client. We are under contract now with Section 8 tenant, lease until April 24th. When we close, how does payment go to the new landlord? Does my client have to apply before closing?
Yes, you apply, the new landlord, the new owner have to contact Section 8, right? They have to let them know that they're going to be the new owner. However, when that closing happens, they have to send the HUD or the ALTA to Section 8 because you still don't, or the D to Section 8, the D is going to verify that you're the new owner. And then they're going to transfer everything to your name. They're going to start the payment for the old owner. They're going to come to the new owner. However, when they do that, my recommendation is also have a quick claim deed for a business. So everything goes through a funnel to a business in terms of the house, switch the house to a business, and the account from Section 8 from the previous owner to the new owner to a business. Just in case if something do happen on the property, slip and fall, anything like that happen on the property, that you're not responsible, liable, that it have to go through a business.
Okay. And does Section 8 work the same across state?
No. Section 8 on the payment, yes, but not on the application. So for example, Miami-Dade County from, I want to say from Fort Lauderdale, no, Broward. Miami-Dade County is the same. Broward is completely different. West Palm, Palm Beach is completely different than Broward and Miami. And it's in the requirement that the tenant have to apply for, right? And how, and also we're talking about now their income is different. However, on the landlord side, is the same the same requirement that you have to keep the property in good shape, the every appliance have to work, everything has to be a good standard. But on the requirement on the tenant the tenant to apply is different.
Okay. All right, so anyone else have any questions before? Okay, so I have one last question to wrap up then. What
Right.
would Sammy, now having 22 doors, say to Sammy when he was buying his first door? Any tips, something that you were like, man, I wish I would have done this then?
Oh man. I was
Too many.
scared. I was scared to tell you the truth. When I buy my first one, like right now, I'm buying that single family. I'm not scared. I'm just like, man, I'm not there. You know what I mean? It's kind of hard when you're buying something for first time and you don't know the business out of it. You don't know the logistic on tenants, on people, how this is your baby, right? You're buying something for first time and you're like, shoot, why if I do this and I fail? But no, don't be scared, man. And if you fail for the first one, the second tenant, the line for Section 8 from here to Hialeah, to tell you the truth, is long. Like, you cannot be scared of purchasing and trying to rent for other people that really needs the rent, right? Especially for affordable housing. So what I'm trying to tell you guys is that, look forward, live in the moment, don't be scared of buying anything, and try to get your side hustle, your extra income in, because real estate is getting a little bit, tough right now. So the more ways that you have income coming into your household, the better it is. So try to buy your first multifamily or your first single family and rent it out.
Sammy, I got another question for you. Coming in as a newer investor, how much down payment? Is there like a rule of thumb? I know there's a lot of variables when it comes to financing, or even if you get to a certain point, like maybe you've already decided, no, I'd rather buy them cash. When you're buying and holding, is there any recommendation you can give me?
Well, I am right now, I need to buy with a 20-25%. That is my, if I buy with a 10% as a FHA, I gotta get an uncle or a tia or something, you know what I mean? But right now, until the point that I am, everything multifamily, I have to put the 20, 25, 30% because of where they're gonna look at the portfolio, they're gonna look over everything, that I had. However, for you guys that are just starting, you can still buy maybe FHA, maybe with a 5% or 10% a single family, right? Multifamily, because it's your first one. Also, okay, and this is something that I went to TD Bank. I got a cash out refi from one of my properties that owes zero. I got $200,000. I'm going to buy this single family. I'm going to buy another one. So you guys got to, also seeing your, how do you can buy, if you don't have it, you personally liquid on the bank, sitting on the bank, you have to see, in your other properties, if you have equity, I'll take the equity out and use it to invest onto your real estate, as a startup. If you, let's say you don't have it, but your household, that your primary house have it, see, and don't be scared, because one thing that I can tell you too is that when you take a line of credit, and let's say that line of credit is, I don't know, $500, $600, your payment, your main house went up $300, so you're still paying that. Now you have to make sure that your property, the property that you buy, the multifamily you buy, they can pay the mortgage that you have plus the gap that you have with the line of credit. You know what I mean? And if you can do that every month, go ahead and do it. Now, if you're short, don't do it. If you plus $200, $300, even better, because remember, we always look at the depreciation that property got you, and that's an asset now to you that somebody else is paying. So, and eventually, after maybe 6 years, 7 years, you're gonna have a little equity that you can also, play with it. So, I say go ahead and try to get you cash flow monthly somewhere else too.
Okay, and Dwayne wants to know if you're using any tools to buy these properties. Like I know you said everything on the MLS doesn't make sense right now, but I'm sure there's off markets, wholesalers that are contacting you regularly with these opportunities. So can you
Yeah.
highlight on that?
So yes, wholesalers. Wholesalers are like my BFF in terms of like, you know, I got like 4 or 5 always every month. Hey, Sammy, I have this. And sometimes I feel overwhelmed because I want to buy everything, but I can't buy everything because I'm not, you know, it requires a lot of money. However, there's wholesaler and there's private lending that I'm seeing now. Obviously, I'm on a different level when it comes to, hey, give me 90% of this loan as a private investor and I will pay you back in a year or so, you know, refi and things like that. However, you can just get 2 wholesalers that are really good and you analyze their properties. Multifamily, obviously, they can make sense for you. So yes, wholesalers are the way to go, in my personal opinion right now, because they're always looking for deals, but not on MLS. MLS is kind of rare or off market.
Okay, great. Anyone else have any questions?
All right.
We're good.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sammy.
Have a
Have
good
a
day, guys.
everyone.
Bye-bye.